Good morning guys, welcome back. I'm pretty often being asked about solo hiking and how I start doing it, what I keep in mind during my hikes and backpacking trips, because it turns out that a lot of people still are quite afraid to go out in nature on their own. So if you're willing to start solo hiking or backpacking, then this video might be for you, because today I'm going to give you 10 tips to start solo hiking and absolutely enjoy your first experience. Because solo hiking and backpacking is something that I absolutely love. You can do the mileage that you want per day. You can take a break where you want per day. You can do what you want in your break each day. You can put up your tent where you want to sleep each night. So I absolutely love it. It's not that I hate hiking with others, because when I was hiking with my colleague in April this year, I had absolutely a great weekend. But solo hiking is something that I absolutely love. You can really clear your head out and calm down in nature and thinking about specific things, reflecting on yourself, stuff like that. So let's get started. Tip number one is know your gear. When you're starting out backpacking and you have already some experience with day hiking, camping and everything, you would be quite familiar with your gear. But when you're starting with a complete new gear set, then make sure that you know your gear. Know how to, for example, put up your tent. Know how long it takes to blow up your air mattress. And what I always recommend is, before you go out on a longer trip, just book a campsite in a nearby village, and or if you are allowed to wild camp wherever you live, go on a wild camping trip for just one night, test everything out to see how it works for you. Because when you're arriving at camp, you know how to set everything up. That will avoid a lot of frustration and will get you settled and relaxed way more quicker. Tip number two, not only know your gear, but also know nature. Obviously, there are a lot of things in nature that are poisonous, everything. So know which plants are poisonous, know which berries you cannot eat. If you're willing to pick mushrooms, make sure that you have knowledge about that. And when you're having problems with some kind of plants, I know, for example, in the States you've got poison ivy, something we don't have here, but there you've got poison ivy. Here we've got a plant, I don't know the English name of it. I will blend it up here, I will look it up on Google in a few seconds time. It's called berenklauw. So those are things that can be pretty nasty and have a heavy reaction on your skin. So make sure that if you're having contact with a plant like that, that you know what to do. And when you're eating something poisonous, make sure that you know what to do as well. But in that case, it's always best to avoid those kind of situations. Tip number three, be prepared and make sure that you've got a backup plan. When you're going out, make sure that you know where you're going. And of course you know the trail that you're going to hike, but do you also know the trail? And not knowing that, oh, I'm going to the Veluwe, for example, but also know how the paths are going to be, what is the weather going to be like, and also make sure that you've got a backup plan. Make sure that you have somebody that can pick you up, and if you don't have that someone, make sure that you know where the nearest bus station is, or where you can get on the train, or if you're in a country where it's safe to hitchhike, make sure that you know places where you can catch a hitch to get to the nearest city. So always make sure of that. And what I always do when I'm solo hiking alone in a new environment is that I print out a map, I give it to my mom, and every few kilometers, so let's say 5 kilometers, I'm going to put on a number, and each number I send my mom a text message. I'm lucky to live in a country where you probably have cell service 99.9% of the time, but if you're not, make sure that you've got something like a Garmin InReach Mini or a Spot device with you, and that you check in at each number. So then your family knows that, for example, between each number is 5 kilometers, that let's say you hike 5 kilometers per hour, that you should send a message every hour. And when they haven't received a message in an hour and a half, they can contact you. If you do not respond, then they know where you have been for the last time, from which point that you gave the last sign. So then they know where to start searching for you. Number 4, make sure that you feel safe. Make sure that you go hiking in an environment that you're familiar with or that you are safe with. If you know that you are not feeling safe in the mountains, then don't go up in the mountains for your first longer trip or for your first overnighter. Just make sure that you feel confident and that you feel safe. So if you feel safe in the forest, just do a short weekend in the forest. And that gives you more comfort to hike in. It gives you more confidence to hike, and that's really important to make your hikes and backpacking trips a success, because when you're not feeling good, your trip won't be good either. Number 5 is to keep it simple. Don't overdo your first trips. Don't go way too far in mileage. Don't go on too hard terrain that you're not able to deal with. And If you are capable of hiking, let's say 10 kilometers on day hikes, then don't go 20 on your backpacking trip, your first one, because you will carry a heavy load with you. Everything will be different. You have to get used to situations of being out longer and solo. So keep it simple, and when you're feeling safe with a simple hike, then you can build it up for longer and more harder hikes. But be aware, it doesn't always have to be hard. It doesn't always have to be long. Just being outside in nature sometimes is enough. Number 6 is to do not pack your fears. Do absolutely not overload your package. Make a pack list in advance. Know what you will be using, and don't pack a lot of things when you think about, well, maybe I need this, maybe I need that, oh, maybe I might need 2 of those, maybe I need 3 of this. That's absolutely not necessary. Keep it simple and do not overpack it, because 9 out of 10 times nothing is going to happen. Make sure that you've got the right basics with you, that you know how to use it, that you can help yourself out during your hike, during your backpacking trip and at camp, and then you will be absolutely fine. Number 7, do not quit on a bad day. When it's raining, you've got blisters, you're absolutely tired, you're not willing to hike anymore, don't stop on these days, because they will spoil your trip, and they might not be the best days, but they are the easiest to quit. And it can be that when you are completing those days and you start hiking next day again, that you're feeling absolutely fine and you're totally having fun again in being out in the nature, and or in the mountains, or which is nature of course as well, but just being out makes fun again the day after. So never quit on a hard day. If you're having a hard day and you think about quitting, almost at least hike 1 day extra after it, so that you will be 100% sure that you're really willing to quit. And after that second day, when you still feel like quitting, then do it, because it brings nothing to keep on pushing and not having fun, because then this trip will be your only one and you never will be out again as well, and that will be such a shame. Number 8, don't forget to enjoy your time and be kind to yourself. When I go out hiking or backpacking, it's often not about mileage, because if I'm doing a lot of mileage, I will be able to do it, but I'm not enjoying the whole experience. Then it will be all about hike, and I totally will not see around me what else I can find there. And then I'm at camp at night, and then I think, what have I actually seen today? And that's such a shame. So be kind to yourself and enjoy the whole experience. If it is spring, keep a look at all the flowers that are popping out, trees that are starting to bloom. When it's fall, take a look at mushrooms and everything. And if you're not sure what kind of species you're seeing, make sure that you've got an app on your phone that you can scan with a photo, and it tells you what kind of species it is. And it's absolutely fun. And when you're, for example, passing a nice lake, go sit around that lake and soak your feet, have a swim if you can, and make sure that the whole experience is about fun and enjoyment, and not about mileage and hiking to get at camp as quickly as you can. Because I did it on my first backpacking trip, and I ended up with an injury that lasted me for 2 years. And if I'm not taping it right now, it still is, and 4 years later now. So be kind to yourself and enjoy the whole experience. Number 9 is a little bit of an adjustment to the last one, and that is be kind to yourself. When you know, for example, that you really like some sort of a cookie or a treat when you're out, then take it. It doesn't have to be a punishment to go out. It's supposed to be fun. You can be kind to yourself, and when you're hiking a lot, it doesn't matter that you're eating a little bit more calories, because you walk them off easily, especially when you're out for several days. So make those kind of things. If you like making photos on the go, take your camera. So be kind to yourself. If you like to listen to music, put on some music. One tip about that, never put in 2 earbuds, because you cannot hear nature around you, you cannot hear animals approaching, you can't hear other hikers or bikers approaching. So when you're listening to music, only do it with 1 earbud. But those are the little things that can make it a little bit more fun for you, and also, again, make the whole experience way more enjoyable. And number 10 is make notes and use a pack list. I always carry a little journal with me in my backpack, and when I see something on the trail or I have to remember something, I write it down. And when I come back home, if I didn't write it down, I forgot about it. So I write things down that are important during the trail, and I can look up at home, or things I would like to change in regards to gear or something, or navigation. Then when I come back at home, I can look at my journal and see what I wrote down, and I can work on that one. And that's the same for a pack list. Make a pack list from the first time that you pack your backpack. When you come home, take the pack list with you and check out what was on my pack list, what did I use, what didn't I use. And what I did when I started backpacking, the things I didn't use the first time, I took again the second time. And when I still didn't use that, I left them at home for the rest of all the years I have been backpacking. So that might be a good way to sort a little bit out what gear do you really need and what can actually stay at home. Because gear that you're not using, you do not have to take it. It's extra weight, it takes up space in your backpack. So absolutely no need for that. So these were my 10 tips to help you start it out on your first solo hiking or backpacking trip. Absolutely no need to worry about it. Don't have to be afraid as long as you prepare well. I know a lot of people say never go solo hiking. But for example, like I do not have anyone close around me that loves to do that as well. Does that mean that I don't have to go out to nature? No, because I love doing it. It makes me happy, it calms me down. So it's something that I really need. So therefore I go solo hiking anyway, and I know not everybody likes that, and some people really say don't do it, you should never do it. But with a great backup plan you absolutely can. And I know that I'm living in Western Europe, which is quite safe to hike solo. We do not have bears, we do not have mountain lions, things like that, no mooses that you can cause you trouble. Our biggest fear are wild boar, and in some areas the wolves. And I must say that not a lot of things here happen with strange people that you're meeting out on the trail. Everybody's kind, so I know that it depends on where on the world you live. But if you're feeling well and you want to do it, then just do it, because it is absolutely an amazing adventure. If you would like to know anything more or have any questions, put it down in the comment box below and I will be happy to help you out. You can also send me an email at theoutdoordogandhikinggirl@gmail.com, and Ravi and I will give you all the advice that we can give you. Then I would like to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to the channel and notify the alarm bell. And then we would like to say, as always, enjoy the outdoors. We will catch you on the next trail. Goodbye.